Let's get more now on the admission by a former spin doctor that he smeared 2 Home Secretaries in his bid to make Gordon Brown Prime Minister. Damian McBride makes the claim in his book, which is being serialised in the Daily Mail. Well, Dame Tessa Jowell served in the cabinets of both Tony Blair and Gordon Brown, and she joins us now from our Westminster studio. Good morning. Thanks for being with us. And this all sounds like pretty poisonous stuff. Is there anything that surprised you at all?
Well, I think I am shocked by it. I haven't read the book yet, but certainly the excerpts that I've read are truly shocking. I think the point is, though, to remember this is now in the past, and one of the most important things that Ed Miliband has done is to outlaw this kind of briefing in his shadow cabinet, and I think that has built a sense of confidence and solidarity, really, in the parliamentary party, that this kind of vile behaviour in the past just tore asunder.
Yeah, and you were, as we just said, in both the cabinets for Tony Blair and Gordon Brown. I mean, how do you feel as a Labour politician when this kind of stuff is being made public now?
Well, I feel very sad. I feel very angry. I feel angry at the constant destabilisation of the Labour government of which I was part, which, despite all this, and I think this is a really important thing to remember, did some really extraordinary things that changed Britain for the better and changed people in our country's lives for the better, like the introduction of the minimum wage, like peace in Northern Ireland, like Sure Start, and the list goes on. All that was achieved despite this day in, day out destabilisation of a good Labour government.
How did it become so nasty, though? I mean, was this just about the relationship between those 2 men?
Well, I think at the centre was, if you like, the battle for supremacy by Gordon Brown in relation to Tony Blair. Tony Blair was the Prime Minister, and I think at some level Gordon Brown could never, ever come to terms with the fact that he was not at that time Prime Minister. And Gordon Brown was a brilliant Chancellor. I would rather remember his achievement in government as the work he did as Chancellor, as the international work he did, the way he stepped in to rescue, in the G20, to rescue the world economy. That's what I think I'd rather remember Gordon Brown for, rather than being an agent of this malign and awful briefing.
Yeah, unfortunately, though, all the focus is going to be on this backstabbing that was taking place behind the scenes, just on the eve of the Labour Party conference. I mean, what do you think about the timing of this?
Yeah, I think the timing is awful, and I presume that the timing is motivated only by the amount of money that the serialisation of this book is worth to coincide with the Labour Party conference. And, you know, I have to say someone like Damian McBride would be nobody were it not for the position that he managed to get in the Labour Party. And I'm very old-fashioned about this. Nobody is bigger than the Labour Party. And if you are part of the Labour family, as it were, then you owe great loyalty to that in pursuit of Labour's service of the country.
Ed Miliband had a pretty rough summer. He's now got this on the eve of the Labour Party conference. How damaging do you think all this is?
Well, I don't think it's damaging for Ed Miliband. I'm sure he knew that this was going on. He was actually away a lot of the time, but the strength of Ed Miliband has been to say that that is the past, we're not going back to that, and that I am not going to preside over a parliamentary party or a Labour Party that allows this kind of bad and malign behaviour. And I think that's been a very important part of building confidence. And I think if I feel angry, it's because precisely of the point you make, that this could be what people remember, that they don't remember the national minimum wage, longer maternity leave, rights for parents returning to work, Sure Start, peace in Northern Ireland, all the other things that the Labour government achieved despite the awful evil influence of people like Damian McBride.
What a lot of people are being told today who don't have this kind of insider knowledge of the Westminster Village that you and many others do is actually this is politics. This is just what happens.
No,
I mean, is there any recognition that this actually is in the past and that this kind of thing won't happen and doesn't happen anymore?
Yes, for the reasons that I've said. This is in the past, and this doesn't have to go hand in hand with decent politics. And lots of us that have been in politics for years and years and years have always believed in the decency of politics, in the power of politics to change people's lives. And then you get it corrupted by somebody like this, who then markets his memoirs and stuff he should be ashamed of, just to coincide with our Labour Party conference. That's not decent politics, and that's not the politics that the Labour Party stands for.
Tessa Jowell, very good to talk to you. Thanks very much indeed for your time.